Ladies and gentlemen, before I get started, there's something wrong with my lighting. So if it begins to flicker or if the light just suddenly dims, I'm sorry. I don't have an extra light bulb to change it, so sorry. That's if it isn't the outlet itself. Anyway, I'm interested in seeing SummerSlam because of what happened in this show. It wasn't the entire show. Some of it was just crap. But there was enough there to give me enough interest for the next 2 weeks going into SummerSlam. So let's look at the opening of the show, and that is the U.S. title match. Why? Why? I don't understand why they did this. Using Mike Chioda to cause a whole bunch of controversy, to have some type of conflict between Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens. Why? I just don't. I think this is not very good writing. I just don't get it. And the match wasn't very good. I mean, it isn't very good. And in the end, what did we get? It was a standard match. It wasn't one of the best. Mike Chioda gets punched in the face. Well, punched in the eye. They said the eye, and it looked like the face, kind of. And then Kevin Owens kicking his arm out because, well, the ref didn't call for somebody to replace him. And he tried to make the call while he couldn't see. Then they go in the back. Shane McMahon's getting yelled at. Mike Chioda's getting shoved into some boxes. And Daniel Bryan says, you want fairness? You can have a match at SummerSlam. And then, well, actually, it's Shane said you have a match at SummerSlam. And Daniel Bryan said the ref will be Shane. Are we looking at a Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon feud on Smackdown Live? Because that's what's going to have to come down to, because there's no way they're going to do anything really serious with this on the pay-per-view unless AJ Styles is going to be thrown out, which he's not. He's not going to be taken out of the story. Just how I feel. It just, I don't like it. I could be wrong. Tell me if you like this feud. Tell me if you like how the angle is. But as far as I can tell, this isn't a very good angle. It's just not going anywhere. The thing I did like, one of them, was the Usos rap moment. Now, it wasn't the best rap I've seen them do, but it was what I asked for. I wanted to see the Usos and New Day fight each other with their wits, and sometimes beat up on each other with their fists. Instead of going into the ring and actually beating each other up that way, and then not giving us anything interesting, they're letting them talk, they're letting them beat each other up, at least until SummerSlam. I'm hoping there's no matches. If there's no matches the next 2 weeks, I'm fine with it. This is what I want. Let these guys do their banter back and forth. Let New Day say what they need to say. Let the Usos say what they need to say and go from there. Now, the other thing I enjoyed is, what the hell was that? With the fashion popo. First, you have Tyler Breeze, who isn't the most, well, he's very good when he's working with Fandango. By himself, it's so-so. I'm not going to lie about it. He's so-so by himself. But then you got Fandango with the Ascension, and then the Ascension pouring, maple syrup on a log, I think? And then Fandango's still dancing, and then he doesn't want to, and this is Tyler Breeze, he doesn't want to care about the cliches. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what's going on. What? And then that little weird fade where he wakes up. I'll just say this. I'm not bored with these stories that the Fashion Police creates. I love it. It's funny. It's stupid. And that's the way wrestling should be sometimes. Let it be stupid. Let it be funny. And here's another thing that's stupid and funny. Aiden English versus Sami Zayn. I am more interested in Aiden English singing and his attitude than Sami Zayn any day. And that, I want to like Sami Zayn, but he's so generic. It upsets me that they don't, either it's him or the writing team, they don't do anything with him. He doesn't have a different type of personality or character. It's exactly the same as it was in NXT. It's exactly the same in Raw. And now it's exactly the same in SmackDown. Sometimes you gotta change it up when you know that it's not interesting. Yes, some of the people are cheering for him, but I just don't see it. But guess what? Aiden English won. Unfortunately, it wasn't for him. It was for the Bennetts. Mike and Maria Kanellis Bennett come out, and I'm not saying it. I'm not saying that other word, that other name. I'm not saying it. No, it sucks. And they said simply, we love seeing you lose. And then they cut away. They cut to Sammy. They cut to them. They then fade off. And I find that good. At least until I remember what happened, where Sami Zayn now has beaten Mike Bennett. Instead of just having 2 wins over him, he has 1 loss and 1 win. And that's dumb. 50-50 booking was not necessary here. If you want to give something to Sammy where he's more frustrated, more determined, more something, don't let him win as well as lose. I don't care. Now, Becky and Naomi versus the blonde bombshells, if you want to call them that. Well, I'm not saying that. Look, Carmella's good looking. But if I have to put Carmella versus Natalya, it's kind of hard not to say to go for Natalya. She's got a better body. But admittedly, Carmella may be a little bit cuter. Just a little. And what do we get? I was worried that my Naomi was going to job here. I was worried that Naomi was going to be jobbed out. And what did we get? We got no jobbing. She kicked both their asses and made Carmella tap. Oh, fuck. That's not a good sign. As happy as I am to see Naomi tapping out a Carmella and being dominant, doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence. One, that they're going to do something good during SummerSlam would act somewhat screwy. Two, that really doesn't help the Money in the Bank winner. You really want to see that the Money in the Bank winner is well presented. And seeing her get her ass handed to her by Naomi, by a tap out, isn't good. Even though I'm fine with it, baby. I'm happy to see my Naomi. She's in my face. She's in my face. My baby's in my face. And I take away and say, I'm glad to see her job her out. I'm glad to see Carmella get that tap. But it does not mean that's very good writing. Either it makes you feel like that's a telegraphing that Carmella's going to cash in at SummerSlam. Or if it doesn't happen, then it makes Carmella look really weak. I would have liked to see them as separate as possible. Maybe do Carmella try to beat up on Naomi? Maybe she teases her by like she's going to cash in and does not. I wouldn't have minded that. Maybe they will do that. But seeing her job out so easily is not one of the wisest things to do for the women's division. That's just me. Rusev. Rusev, what? Okay, you're about to get your ass handed to you by Randy Orton. We got Rusev versus Chad Gable. I don't know what they're going to do with Chad. Right now, my thought is this. This is my thought for maybe next year. Chad Gable versus Jason Jordan. A heel Chad Gable versus a face Jason Jordan. Or a heel Jason Jordan versus a face Chad Gable. I think it might be a heel Chad Gable. I think it might be him turning heel because of how this may play out. Because he had a very good match. It felt a bit amateurish. It did. It felt like they did some amateur wrestling. And that was important to see from a Chad Gable who is an Olympian. Why don't they emphasize that he's if I remember correctly, a 2012 Olympic gold medalist? I understand when it comes to Kurt Angle. An Olympic gold medalist, the first. But you can say the 2012 Olympic gold medal winner or silver medal winner, Chad Gable. I think that would really go far for his character. If he's going to turn heel, it'll make him more angry. I think he won the silver medal in 2012. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But if he won gold or silver, this would make sense for the way he was wrestling. He did mostly amateur wrestling. He even did the backflip, the same as Kurt Angle, the ankle lock, the same as Kurt Angle, to rub it into his partner's face. I can do it better than you. Like I said, you could be setting up next year Chad Gable as a heel versus Jason Jordan as a face. The son defending the father's honor. That's what I'm thinking. Now, when it came to after the match, and you see Randy Orton coming out because a Rusev said, I wanted competition, I got none. Really? You just almost got your ass handed to him by Chad Gable. You know, you could have done a little bit. Say, no, he was not bad. Chad Gable gave me a little competition, but no one can give me real competition. Rusev crush! I think that would have been better for Chad and piss him off more. And that would have gave us something for Randy Orton to strive for. Saying, oh, that little so-and-so gave you a little competition. I will give you great competition. And that would have set up a Randy Orton versus Chad Gable match next week. Because we got to do something with Chad Gable. Randy Orton has to have something to do for the next 2 weeks. I don't want to see them have a match. I don't want to see them barely touch. Yeah, they can fight one another a little bit outside the ring, but it would give us something more to do. And I think that would have been better writing. Look, I'm not a writer, but I just came up with a better idea that could have given us something more. Now, let's see. Is there anything else? I think that's it. Give me a moment. My brothers and sisters of the YWC, welcome to the altar of the WWE, and where we always see jobbers job, and ones who don't job always dominate. But then we have a revelation that came to our midst, a revelation that came in the words of our John Cena. I want true competition. I want to face the best. I want to face Shinsuke Nakamura. Actually, it was a Daniel Bryan that said it, but you know what I mean. That was loud. This was a shock. I did not expect this match to go that way. I expected a Cena turn into a Super Cena and destroying a Shinsuke Nakamura, a Japanese wrestler who would probably like Dragon Ball Z as a kid. Probably like Dragon Ball Z as a kid, and seeing a Super Cena across from him and saying, am I about to get a Kamehameha in my face? But no, what happened? We had a decent match. It was not great, but it was decent enough that you could be interested in it. The crowd was a bit into it. I know they were cheering, but they cheer all the time now. It's kind of hard to tell when it's really a good match by their perspective, or it is not because they just want to cheer. It's awesome no matter what. My guess is it was a little bit good. They cheered, but they didn't need to cheer that much. John Cena did play to the crowd when he was trying to give the wrist ring to Shinsuke Nakamura. And I got to say this. You guys tell me below. You got to see in my face right now. He took a suplex to the neck. I'm hoping John Cena didn't get his neck jacked by Shinsuke Nakamura by accident. These things do happen. I'm hoping he's okay. He took a nasty suplex to the neck. That wasn't good. But in the end, he got up. Shinsuke gave him the Kinshasa, I can't pronounce it. Kinshasa to the face. And in the end, it is now Jinder Mahal, who was in the skybox watching this, to a Shinsuke Nakamura. Unless something happens beforehand where maybe Shinsuke gets his ass handed to him and he can't participate and then Cena has to take his place, we will be seeing Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jinder Mahal. Now here's my thoughts on this situation. It is good to see new talent and established talent actually get a shine in a signature pay-per-view. I'm alright seeing Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam. I'm alright seeing Shinsuke Nakamura at SummerSlam. This is what we've been needing. This is a problem that a lot of people that watch wrestling these days don't understand. We don't have enhancement jobbers anymore. It's not like it used to be. We just have plain jobbers that are all throughout the card. Through the main event, through the top part of the card, the middle of the card, and below the card. There isn't specific people who really can put people over properly. Dolph Ziggler's one of them, but essentially he needs to be in the main event because we have no new talent in the main event. We have, how can I say that when we got new talent? Look, new talent that came up from NXT really are not ready. They've been rushed because the older talent has been coming in and out, and the established talent that some of them could have already been turned into main eventers and could have replaced the ones that have been taking time off or just left are not there. So now you're stuck with new talent that really hasn't been built right and have not been established properly. Then you got the talent that has been around for a while, has not been put into the main event when they're good, and you know they're good, and have been left floundering and stagnant for so long. Many of them have grown complacent and compliant, and they don't care. So seeing this situation with Shinsuke and Jinder is good. So I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen this SummerSlam in the next 2 weeks. But this is just my point of view. You guys tell me below. And I hope you enjoyed the Zane's View. Please give me a comment below. And tell me, do you want me to do another retro wrestling review? I did one with Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit. Tiger Mask. No, what is it? Black Tiger versus the Pegasus. No, Wild Pegasus. I almost said Pegasus Kid. Wild Pegasus. Tell me if you want me to do another one. I actually been considering doing another one because I am beginning to back up my wrestling videos. My wrestling DVDs. I'm actually backing them up. So I'm looking through them. So if you want me to do a review of a match, tell me. I'll do one. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace!